9 key control variables defined from my medical research. Number 1624, the 4th of May 2026. Gerald C. EclaireMD Foundation. Category: Longevity. Special note: this research journal is based on my personal research using data from my own body and is provided for educational purposes only. It does not constitute medical advice and should not be interpreted as guidance from medical professionals. Preface: primary versus secondary factors in longevity. Recently, many of my friends have shared health-related messages from the internet, especially from YouTube. While some of this information is correct, a common problem is that primary and secondary factors are frequently mixed together. In some cases, inaccurate or misleading information is also included. At my age of 79, and with many of my friends now around 80 or older, longevity and health are major concerns. I appreciate their good intentions, but I am also concerned that partially correct information can still lead to misunderstanding when the structure is wrong. Another concern is credibility. Some individuals on YouTube present themselves as medical professionals, but their identities cannot be verified. More recently, AI has made this problem worse by enabling the creation of highly convincing but fake images and videos containing inaccurate health information from a system perspective. The key issue is structural confusion. Primary factors drive system behavior, while secondary factors only modify it. When these are mixed together, the conclusions may sound reasonable but are often incorrect or less effective. For example, some people mix military box breathing, inhaling for 4 seconds and exhaling for 4 seconds, with a different breathing method, inhaling for 4 seconds followed by exhaling for 8 seconds and ended to reduce systolic blood pressure (SBP). These two methods serve different purposes. Box breath in for 2-4 is designed for rhythm control and mental stability, often used in training to maintain focus under stress. In contrast, a longer exhalation for 2-8 activates the parasympathetic nervous system, slows the heart rate, reduces vascular tension, and therefore helps lower SBP. From a mechanism standpoint, exhalation length is a key control variable. A longer exhalation increases vagal tone, which reduces cardiac output and relaxes blood vessels. This directly affects blood pressure. In contrast, equal inhalation and exhalation primarily stabilize breathing rhythm but do not provide the same level of blood pressure reduction. When these two methods are mixed or used interchangeably without understanding their different roles, the intended physiological effect may not be achieved. In this article, based on my own research over the past 17 years, I will focus on the primary factors that truly govern longevity. At least, these are the factors I try to follow every day. My approach emphasizes system structure and long-term trajectory. At the same time, I will include accurate elements from existing research literature, but reorganized into a clearer and more reliable framework. Introduction: a system-based approach to longevity, not the typical internet version. 1. Glucose stability. Core metabolic variable. I place glucose control as the 2 priority because it directly affects the vascular system, nervous system, kidneys, and the body's overall energy system. My control methods include eating protein and vegetables first, minimizing processed foods and refined carbohydrates, especially starches and high-sugar items, and staying physically active after meals. For example, walking 2,000 to 4,000 steps after each meal. I view glucose as the primary engine of chronic damage. Once this variable is out of control, it becomes very difficult for other systems to remain stable. Diabetes leads to diseases related to the heart, kidneys, nerves, brain, and even cancer. 2. Blood pressure stability. Trigger variable. I consider blood pressure to be the trigger for most acute events, such as stroke and heart disease. I maintain blood pressure through weight control, breathing exercises such as 4-second inhalation followed by 8-second exhalation repeated at least 4 to 5 times, and stress management, including avoiding people or situations that provoke emotional spikes. In my health system, blood pressure functions as an event switch. Once it is out of control, it can trigger serious consequences, such as heart attack, stroke, or seizures. 3. Body weight and visceral fat. Structural variable. I view body weight and visceral fat as the structural foundation of the entire system, as they determine the system's overall load. I manage this variable through food portion control, diet selection, maintaining long-term activity levels, and metabolic balance. Obesity leads to most cases of diabetes. This forms the basic framework of my health system. 4. Physical activity level. Energy flow variable. I do not focus only on exercise itself, But on total daily activity, I consistently walk between 8,000 post-stroke and over 12,000 pre-stroke steps per day. Perform simple strength exercises such as sit-to-stand movements, and maintain long periods of low-intensity activity. In my biomedical system, this represents energy flow. Once the flow stops, the system gradually deteriorates. 5. Sleep quality and regularity recovery variable. I consider sleep to be the system's reset and repair mechanism. During my post-stroke recovery, I have increased my sleep hours by 30%, from 6 hours to 8 hours per night. It became especially important and also helped control epileptic seizures. 1. Maintain a fixed sleep schedule, reduce nighttime disturbances, and follow a regular daily rhythm. Short daytime naps are also beneficial. This is the key to my system's ability to repair itself. 6. Autonomic nervous system balance control center. I understand that breathing exercises primarily affect the autonomic nervous system. I regulate my system through prolonged exhalation such as the 4-2-8 breathing method, slowing my overall pace and maintaining stable daily rhythms. After having a stroke, I avoid dealing with unpleasant people or matters, such as financial investment issues. This functions as the central regulator of the entire system. 7. Neuromuscular stability anti-collapse variable. My goal is not simply strength, but stability. I perform balance training, small muscle group control, and coordination exercises. These help prevent falls and system instability, forming a critical foundation for maintaining function. Falls are very dangerous for senior people. 8. Circulatory system maintenance transport variable. I believe blood flow determines the efficiency of repair and nutrient delivery. I maintain circulation through calf exercises, heel raises, continuous walking, and avoiding prolonged sitting. This represents the transport network within my system. 9. Continuous learning and system integration evolution variable. This is where I differ most from the general population. I have engaged in continuous learning postgraduate level learning for 44 years, integrating knowledge across 12 academic disciplines and accumulating knowledge over the long term. This allows my system not only to maintain itself, but to continuously evolve and upgrade. Integrating evolution through learning as a longevity variable is supported by modern neuroscience findings. Neuroplasticity, my core principle. I do not view these as 9 habits. I treat them as 9 key control variables. In my system, they do not interact additively, but multiplicatively. Multiplication offers amplification power of influential factors, but addition does not. If even one variable is out of control, the entire system declines. When these variables align and reinforce one another, the system enters an accelerated improvement phase, forming a concave upward trajectory. Conclusion. In my view, longevity is not achieved through the accumulation of multiple isolated habits, like silos, but through the stable control and interaction of a small number of key physiological variables. These variables form a multiplicative relationship that determines overall system behavior. When the system structure is correct and consistently maintained, it enters a self-reinforcing and accelerating trajectory of improvement. Longevity is not additive, but depends on multiplicative interaction across 9 variables. Disclaimer: I write this paper not for fame, but to share what I have learned so others can understand their health, prevent disease, and live longer, healthier lives. This content is provided for educational reference only and does not constitute medical advice. No doctor-patient relationship is created. You may share this summary freely, but it must not be altered, edited, or republished as your own. All intellectual property rights and copyrights for this article and its related materials belong to T. He author, Gerald C. This content is provided for educational reference only and does not constitute medical advice. No doctor-patient relationship is created. You may share this summary freely, but it must not be altered, edited, or republished as your own. All intellectual property rights and copyrights for this article and its related materials belong to the author, Gerald C.